In a quiet village surrounded by green hills lived a widow named Miriam. She wasn't wealthy. In fact, she often wondered how she would feed herself and her young son from one day to the next. Every morning before sunrise, Miriam baked just enough bread to sell at the village market. Whatever she earned bought rice, vegetables, and a little cooking oil. Some days she returned home with only a few coins in her pocket. One cold morning, as she prepared to leave for the market, an old traveler knocked gently on her door. "I haven't eaten in 2 days," he said. "Could you spare a loaf of bread?" Miriam looked at the small basket beside her. She had baked only 6 loaves. If she gave one away, she would earn less money that day. Her son whispered, "Mother, what will we eat tonight?" She smiled softly. "If we have enough to share," she replied, "then we have enough to hope." She handed the traveler her freshest loaf. The old man thanked her with a warm smile and quietly walked away. That evening, something strange happened. Although she had sold only 5 loaves, she earned almost the same amount of money as if she had sold all 6. She thought little of it and went to sleep. The next morning, she baked another 6 loaves. Before leaving, she noticed an orphan sitting outside her home. Without hesitation, she gave him one. Again, she returned from the market with enough money to buy everything her family needed. Days turned into weeks. Whether she shared bread with hungry children, tired workers, or wandering strangers, her kitchen somehow never lacked flour. Every time she thought the flour jar would be empty, there was just enough for another day's baking. The villagers began whispering, "How can a poor widow keep giving away food? Who is secretly helping her?" Some believed a wealthy merchant was leaving supplies at night. Others thought distant relatives were sending money. Curious, a greedy baker decided to discover her secret. One evening, he hid behind a tree outside her house. He watched as Miriam finished baking her bread. She quietly placed one warm loaf on a wooden stool outside her door with a small note, "For anyone who is hungry, take it with peace." No glowing light appeared. No magic filled the air. No mysterious visitor arrived. Only silence. Disappointed, the baker went home. The next morning, he copied her idea. He placed a loaf outside his own shop, hoping for the same miracle. But every few hours, he checked his flour sacks, expecting them to multiply. Nothing happened. After several days, he became frustrated. He visited Miriam and asked, "Tell me your secret." Miriam smiled. "I don't know any secret. But your bread never runs out." She looked toward the rising sun. "I stopped counting what I gave away. I only counted the blessings that came back." Years later, after Miriam had grown old, the villagers opened her tiny pantry. They expected to find a magical flour jar or a hidden treasure. Instead, they found an ordinary clay container, nearly empty, along with a faded piece of paper. On it were written just a few simple words. "A generous heart always finds enough." And from that day on, whenever someone in the village baked bread, they left one loaf outside their door for anyone in need, because the greatest miracle had never been the bread. It had always been the kindness.